Hey all, so for today's video, I wanted to take a look at 3 amazing features in World of Warcraft that I'd love to see in Final Fantasy XIV. Lately, it's been pretty easy to criticize WoW for some pretty awful design choices, but there are still some incredible features that I think would be awesome in Final Fantasy XIV. And the first one we're going to look at is what I think would be a huge improvement for Glamour. So, in Final Fantasy XIV, I think the Glamour system is starting to show its age. It was introduced all the way back in A Realm Reborn, and it served well for a long time. But there are limitations holding it back. The biggest one being the limited storage. You can only store 800 pieces of gear, and while that might sound like a lot, it actually fills up remarkably fast, especially if you are looking to collect gear for all your favorite jobs. You know, personally, I'm at a little over 300 pieces, and I'm very conservative with what I put into my Glamour dresser, and I'm already over 1/3 full. So, if you're someone who really loves to collect gear and wants to have different outfits for multiple jobs and occasions, space is going to become an issue. It also means you can't collect every piece of gear, which sucks for those of us who enjoy the collecting side of MMOs. You can collect all the mounts, the minions, the triple triad cards, so why not the gear? Which brings us to World of Warcraft's version of Glamour called Transmog. The way that Blizzard designed this system is really good, especially for players who love to collect. So basically, the transmog system acts kind of like a database, and the way it works is, once you have a piece of gear soulbound to your character, that appearance is saved into the database. And there are no storage limitations. You can collect every appearance in the game, and because it's all stored in the database, you don't have to keep a physical copy on you. You're free to sell, delete, drop, whatever you feel like doing, saving a ton of inventory space. The UI is also designed in a way that actually makes you want to go out and collect. Whenever you open up the transmog menu, you can browse through every piece of gear in the game, whether it's been collected or not. And I think having a tangible sense of what you have and what you still need to get is a great way to incentivize collection. It's like in Final Fantasy XIV when I see my missing triple triad cards. That often puts me in the mood to go out and try to collect. There are also achievements for milestones with your gear collection, yet another way you are motivated to get out and collect. The UI is also very clean. It's easy to browse, you can filter it in various ways, such as by sets, by what you've collected, by what you still need, and the various sources that they come from, such as vendor or boss. You can also set favorites, putting the marked appearances right at the front, making them easy to find when you're ready to create your appearance. And of course, you can save templates to quickly swap. Better yet, you can actually name them, giving you a much better idea of what they are without needing to blindly check them all. Which is actually an issue I've had in Final Fantasy XIV. All the templates are numbered and I can never remember what number goes to what glamour. I'm always just blindly clicking through them all. I think that the World of Warcraft designers really knocked this feature out of the park, and I would love to see it adopted in Final Fantasy XIV. So, Final Fantasy XIV has been around for a while now, 11 years at the end of this August 2024, and with the way that it's structured, you have to play every expansion in order. The new content is always gated behind the story. And for a new player, that is a lot of content. Every expansion is essentially a full-length JRPG, and it can easily take hundreds of hours to play through them all. It's a huge time commitment. I've personally known players that have taken half a year all the way up to a year to play through it all. Now for some, that is awesome, but for others, it's a pretty big turnoff. And that brings us to World of Warcraft, which has been around for almost 20 years at this point. That is a ridiculous amount of content, and the way they handled this is by offering a free level skip whenever you purchase a new expansion. Usually, it's the new expansions that are getting players hyped. That's what's being advertised and promoted, so it's not that surprising it's what they want to play. And giving new players the ability to join in the hype, I think is really smart. Now, admittedly, Final Fantasy XIV's structure is much more story-oriented, and expansions are connected in a way that they just aren't in World of Warcraft. And you know, Yoshida even made a point of that in an interview when he was asked about this. So, I am paraphrasing here, but he basically said that the story is an essential pillar in Final Fantasy XIV, and the impact it has on players is seen all over YouTube in reaction videos, and he doesn't want to jeopardize that by giving a skip. And while I see where he's coming from and agree that the story is fantastic, I think the message is somewhat muddied when you can purchase a skip in the MOG shop. The truth is, some players don't play MMOs for the story and want to play what's current, and I don't think it's fair to ask them to pay an extra $50 to do so. You know, as much as I'd love everyone to play through the entire story and enjoy it as much as I do, I don't think forcing that is the best way to go about it. I think letting someone discover they are intrigued by the narrative and wanting to go back is the better way. And besides, New Game Plus is always an option to experience the story. And Dawn Trail is the start of a brand new narrative. This is the perfect time for it. How many times have you aimlessly searched through your inventory for an item, or needed to change a setting, and couldn't remember where the option is? Well, there actually is an item search function in FF14 that I only learned about recently. To use it, you type in the chat field /iSearch, followed by the item. And then a list of items fitting the parameters is loaded into the chat box. You click on the item, and then you click search. And that brings up a menu that tells you which block the item is found in. It works, but it kind of reminds me of old operating systems, before there were GUIs and you had to do everything with commands. So, in World of Warcraft, they have a search bar in your bags, in the settings menu, even in the abilities menu. And whenever you were in your bags and search for an item, say for example crafting, all of your crafting materials are highlighted and every other item is darkened, making it very easy to find what you are looking for. It's the same deal with the settings. There's a search bar. When you search for the setting you want, it automatically pops up for you. For example, if I wanted to change the size of nameplates, I would search nameplates, it would pop up, and then I'd be good to go. I don't have to search through all the categories trying to find the setting. Now admittedly, once you have all the settings to your liking, you probably don't mess around with them much anymore, but it's still nice to have, and a search bar for your bags is life-changing. So yeah, that was 3 things that World of Warcraft does that I would love to see adopted into Final Fantasy XIV. You know, one of the ways MMOs get better is through learning what the others are doing. It's a big reason World of Warcraft was so great when it first released, and it's also a reason why A Realm Reborn was such a smashing success. But you don't want to get comfortable with that success. I think that's what happened in World of Warcraft, and it hurt them for a very long time. And it's also the reason why when Final Fantasy XIV 1.0 released, it was, well, not great. So anyways, that'll be all for this one. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, bye!